now we are going to see about manic disorder. So in that, there are 8 things we are going to cover up here. That are introduction, classification of mania, etiology, psychopathology of mania, clinical features, diagnosis, treatment modalities, and finally the nursing management for mania. So these 8 things we are going to cover up here. The first we can see the introduction for mania. So mania refers to a syndrome in which the central features are, so that shows the manic patients. The central features, the important features to observe in the manic patients are overactivity, overactivity. So like this, you see, feeling unusually optimistic or extremely irritable. So that is overactivity. Okay, high distractible and sleeping very little. They will not sleep. They will do something at midnight also. Highly distractible. They will not do a work at a time. When they continuing a work, easily distractible to some other activities. They will do some other works. So this picture shows how many works he is doing. So like this, he will not fixed in a single work at a time. That is because of overactivity. So these under overactivity symptoms. And also the mood change, which may be towards elation or irritability. So that here also I shown the irritability. So mood change, you see, this is elation mode. This is elation mode. They are showing overreaction. This is also another one. This is aggressive reaction. Here this is also elation. Here aggressive reaction he is showing, and here happy mood he is showing, but it is over happy, unusually over happy. Here unusually over aggressive. So both are elations. Elation means over mood, and this is we can say irritable mode. Okay, and self-important ideas. You see, self-important ideas, because whatever they are thinking in their part of view only will be there. For them only they will do what they are thinking, the pleasant things that they want to do. Okay, they will not think about others, only ideas. So these are the main features the manic patients have. The lifetime risk of manic episode is about 0.8 to 1%. This disorder occurs in episodes lasting usually 3 to 4 months, followed by complete recovery. So we can understand from here there is a possibility of complete recovery. Okay, so this is about introductions. Next, we can see the classification of mania. Classification we can classify according to ICD-10. ICD Based on ICD-10, very important classifications we have given here. That F30, in F30, that shows the manic episode. In that 0, 1, 2, like that 9, mm, till 9 it is there. But very important classifications only I have mentioned here. So that is, one is manic episode, another one is hypomania, then is mania without psychotic symptoms, mania with psychotic symptoms, other manic episode unspecified. You see, manic episode means that is last 7 days. This is mania. That is overactivity will be there for last and it will be last for 7 days or requires hospitalization. So because it is a hyper activities will be there. So most of the time it requires hospitalization because we are not able to control the patient's overactivity. He may hit others, he may hit himself, and he's not like usual persons, so we cannot keep him in front in the society. So there is to control temporarily we need to make him to hospitalize, and after treatment we can take him to home. And it includes psychosis, sometimes with the psychotic symptoms I said, sometimes it includes psychosis also, and causes of significant impairment, so much impairments, abnormal activities will be there. So that is mania. So hypomania, there is a little different will be there. there is only has to last 4 days, means that's the different how long it is happening. Based on that we can say mania and hypomania. So mania you see 7 days and hypomania means lasts of 4 days. This is not exactly 4 days 7 days, but it shows the severity. If it is mania is more severe, then hypomania is less severe. That it shows only has 4 days. It will not take like as mania. Does not cause significant impairment. So significant impairment means there is not much abnormalities in his activities. Very little it will be there. But that is mania. So that's what we are telling, it is hypomania. So that is the difference between mania and hypomania. So this is the thing that types will be there, hypomania. So mania without psychotic symptoms. Next is mania with psychotic symptoms. Here psychotic symptoms means the thinking abnormality, emotional abnormality. This also will be present along with mania. So when it is present along with mania, then we are telling mania with psychotic symptoms. If only overactivity, that and all we have already seen, you see, in introduction we have seen. Only overactivity, mood changes, self-important ideas, that type of symptoms highly present, only that present, that we are telling mania without psychotic symptoms. Including this overactivity, mood change, self-important ideas, including with some psychotic symptoms like abnormal thinking, hallucinations. When that type of things accompanied with these manic symptoms, that time it is called mania with psychotic symptoms. Or only that manic symptoms is there, then manic without psychotic symptoms. So like that also we can classify. Then other manic episodes means the other types of episodes will be there. Other type of manic things comes under this category. And manic episode unspecified. Here some manic episodes which is not comes under the categories of mania, then it is comes under this manic episode unspecified. So here important is the first four things: manic episode, hypomania, manic without psychotic symptoms, manic with psychotic symptoms. So manic episode is we can say hypermania. Okay, that is actually the mania. Hypomania, it is not reached, the characters are not reached that much the level of mania, but there is some little characters of mania also is there. So that time it is called hypomania. So the mania, if it is now only manic characters are there, then it is mania without psychotic symptoms. Then mania, it is having the characteristics of psychotic symptoms, then it is called mania with psychotic symptoms. These four things are we have to notice. Next is etiology. Etiology we can explain in three ways. That is neurotransmitters and structural hypotheses, genetic consideration, and psychodynamic theories. In these three ways, I can explain the etiology. First, already we know this mostly the psychotic disorders are caused by the neurotransmitter imbalances. So here what is the neurotransmitter imbalance? When the dopamine and norepinephrine is high, that time it causes mania. Then another one thing is when the serotonin level is low, that time it is causes mania. So another one is telling right hemisphere lesions or any lesions in the brain also may causes the mania. So these and all neurotransmitter and structural related causes. Next is genetic consideration. This is history we know from parents or grandparents. It may transfer to their children. But here most commonly the identical twins they may have this transference. It means if the one child has the problem, there is more chance probability of chances for the other child also. Okay, this is identical twins. This monozygotic twins we can say. So this is genetic consideration and psychodynamic theories. Psychodynamic theory telling dysfunctional family system. Dysfunctional family system in future it may develop mania because always quarreling with parents the children are seeing the sometimes the quarrel will increase their stability of mind of parents and future they will get manic disorders and the children also they are seeing and always they seeing they are not able to cope up with their parents in all activities. That's why their mind will disturb, and future when they become younger they may also get there is a chances of mania. And the people, some other studies telling the when the people wanted to away from depression, they will show manic activities. Yes, you see these two pictures are telling, I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed. They are expressing in the way of mania. Understood? Actually, they are depressed, but in the society, they don't want to show their depression. For that, they will do some activities. The activities become mania. Okay, that's what it is telling. So next is, this is about psychodynamic theory. So this is about cause etiology. Next is psychopathology of mania. So psychopathology, so lack of inhibition. The, the person is not able to control their habits, characters, activities. That is lack of inhibition. Then apparent quickness of psychological reaction. Apparent quickness of psychological reaction. It means quickness. Immediately they will do. They will not think about its consequences. If they want to jump from building, they immediately they will jump. They will not think about its consequences. It means if they, it may hurt them, it may they may die. Their family will be in road because of his death. So that all they will not think. Usually normal people will think. So that is quickness of psychology. If they wanted to beat anybody, immediately they will beat. They will not think after that they will beat. They will beat him. Otherwise, the police complaints will be there. So the person may die. Like that, they will not think. If they want to do, immediately they will do. That is apparent quickness of psychological reactions. Then distractibility, immediately they will get distracted. That's why they will have so many ideas where when they talk, there's so many thinking they will do when their activities we can see. And flight of ideas, there is so many things that will comes in their mind when we ask something to them. Like if you ask to them their lunch, they will say I went somewhere, yeah, lunch was good, but they will not say what lunch they had. So that type of ideas, the flight of ideas, so many ideas within a short period of time they will exhibit. The lack of insight, they will not know what they are doing, what happened to them. So that is lack of insight. Sometimes they may tell I'm normal, like that they will say actually they are having manic problems, they are hurting others, they are hurting in themselves, but they will say I'm normal. So that when they tell like that, we can understand they're having lack of insight. The loss of parent, so these things, the loss of parent, the people's orphans, they may there when they survive in the society, they may see so many dishonest from the society, or they may feel dishonest because they are not having parents, because most love given by the parents only. When they lost that, their mind will disturbed when they see others, when they get their love from parents. So that is the main issue. Then defense reaction to depression, already I explained. When they're depressed, they don't want to show depression. For that, they will react. The reaction shows manic activities. That interaction between genetic, biological, and psychosocial determinants. The interaction between genetic, biological, and psychosocial determinants. The genetic problem that combined with biological problem, and that combined with psychosocial problems will leads to mania. So this all leads to mania. Interaction between genetic, it means if their parents have manic problems, or grandparents may had manic problems, and then they also have biological problems. In the current person may have biological problems. Biological means bodily or mentally, some problem they may have. These two together combined with psychosocial determinants. Psychosocial means stress, the job loss, love failure. So like that, anything combined with that, then there is more probability to get the manic disorder. So this is psychopathology of mania. And next is clinical features. Clinical features, in four things, in four headings, I can explain the clinical features. One is the elevated, expansive, and irritable mood. Another one is psychomotor activity changes, and speech and thought, and symptoms of hypomania. In this fourth way, I can explain the clinical features. First, we can say elevated, expansive, and irritable mood. In elevated, expansive, and irritable mood means what? Elevated mood means it is over activity only, but it is having four stages. These four stages are euphoria. Euphoria means actually it looks like normal happiness or increased activity of a person, but that is not appropriate to any events, current events. If there is a birthday, the people will be happy, but there is no birthday and there is no happiest moment, and the persons will, many patients will be showing some uh, happiest things. That is the, when it is there, that is the abnormality. Actually nothing is there to for the happiness, nothing is there for the celebration, but they will celebrate or they will happy. So the that shows the euphoria, but not in a high level. So that is the first stage of the elation. Overactive, first stage of this elevated mood. Next stage is elation. Elation means moderate elevation of mood. There will be mood elevation will be there, as well as increased psychomotor activity. But in first stage there is no increased psychomotor activity. Only mood elevation will be there. In second stage there is mood elevation also. Mood elevation is there as well as psychomotor activity also increase. Psychomotor activity means, oh, he will move here and there, he will jump, he will run, he will he cannot able, he not able to sit still. So that conditions we are telling elation. Another one is exaltation, intense elevation of mood. It is severe than the second stage. It is the third stage is severe than second stage. And here one thing is there, the mood with delusion of grandeur. Delusion of grandeur I already explained. We have seen in our another videos. So grandeur means I'm the what I will explain here also in science, in another signs and symptoms. So grandeur means they will think they are the they knows everything. They have to control everybody. They are the richest person in all the way. So that is showing exaltation. Exaltation, severe mood activity will be there, and increased psychomotor also will be there, and the grandiosity also will be there, delusion of grandeur. And last is ecstasy. In fourth stage it is a uh, severe stage of elevation, severe stage of elevated mood, severe stage of elevated mood. Severe elevation of mood, intense sense of rapture, blissfulness, that is extreme happiness, not related to any appropriate event. So that is called this. In these four stages the mind will elevate. Okay, immediately it will not elevate. First time he will show some happiness, second stage he will with increase psychomotor activity. In third stage he will, the delusion of grandeur also joined with the severe elevated mood. And ecstasy, when it is ecstasy, that shows the severe elevation of mood. There is a rapture blissfulness, it means this extreme happiness they will show, that is may not be appropriate to the particular event. So this is this way, in these four stages the mood will elevate. From that we can understand the patient is having manic disorder. And another one is, oh, yeah, expansive. What is expansive? That is B. Expansive mood is unceasing and unselective enthusiasm. Is enthusiasm means over happiness, over activity, over interest to any particular event. But this is unceasedness. Unceased means there is no control. Cease means stopping. Here he is not able to stop his activities. That time it is called manic symptoms. Unceasing and unselective. And this unselective because we have some selectiveness when we celebrate. It means if we see our parents, we will be happy. If we see our enemy, we will be sad, or we will go away from. That type of selectiveness will not be there in their activities. For interacting with people, that's what I said. And surrounding environment and interacting with people, there is no stopping of his, controlling of his activity. So that is expansive mode. And next is sometimes irritable, that is third one, irritable mode. So it's a irritable mode will be there. Irritable mode will be high when compared to other activities. Every time he will get irritated. If he has if he's stopping his activity, he will get irritated. If you get anything from him, he will get irritated. If you tell something, he will get irritated. So that is irritable mode, especially when the person is stopped from doing what he wants. The person want to do something where if it is not appropriate to your situation, so usually normal people will stop him, but he will not like that. He will get irritated and he may hurt himself or he hurt the people those who are stopping him. And there may be rapid short lasting shifts from a euphoria to depression or anger. His mind shifting will be there immediately. He will get irritated, he will get angry, he will get depressed, or he will get sometimes normal mood also will come, or little elated mood also will come. So this is irritable mood. So now this is one type in one way we have seen the clinical features. In another one is psychomotor activity changes. What are the psychomotor activity changes will be there? There is increased psychomotor activity ranging from overactiveness and restlessness to manic excitement. Overactive, that is means he will go jump, he will not sit, he is not able to sit. He will move, he will hit on the wall, he will said any bad words like that. Keep on, he was doing something that is increased activity. The person involves in ceaseless activity that already I explained. He is not able to control his activity. He's not able to, he will not think to sit. If he wanted to run, he will run. So that type of ceaseless activities. He cannot able to stop his activities. That is called ceaseless activities. These activities are goal oriented or based on a external environment cues. It means if his enemy comes, he will immediately go and hit him. Or he will run away from that. Anything he will do. So based on the environmental cues, environmental stimulation, he will react. So that is psychomotor activities, increased psychomotor activities. Next is speech and thought. We can see there is so many changes will be there in the flight of ideas. I already explained, and here also I want to explain through pictures. When will you come back? This is a question. If you ask to the patient, he may say, I came to Delhi. Then he will say, Delhi is beautiful, because this is not the answer to this question. When will you come back? This is a question you asked. Actually, he has to say when did he come back, like that. He has to say, when will you come back? When will he come back? That he may say tomorrow or day after tomorrow or today, like that. Anything he has to say. But what he said is, I came to Delhi. Delhi is beautiful. This is not related to these questions. So that is called flight of idea. Then another question answers he is telling, but the driver is not good at all. He was driving fast. I like driving. Like the something is not related to question. He is keep on telling. That is called flight of ideas. Now I want to purchase new car. So about car he is telling, but he didn't answer to the actual question. So this is called flight of ideas. So many ideas is coming in his mind when they talk something, but actual answer he is not telling. So this is called flight of ideas. We can say this loosening of association also we can say. Flight of ideas also we can say. So next is pressure of speech. He will in whatever he speaks, there will he would pressure you, come back, you go, I will hit you, like that. Pressure of speech will be there. We can find, and clang association. This is one example of clang association. This example shows I was on my way to the store, the chore, the bore, some more. You see here, actually, there is no meaning in this sentence. How he is using this sentence? He used store, then chore, then bore. This is association, clang association, and some more. This and all, like this only he will speak. Store, chore, bore, more. There is the only the pronunciation association is there, but that is but it is not giving any meaning to the sentence. So that's why it is called clang association. Okay, this type of sentence he will use. So that will be there. Then delusion of grandeur, I already explained. They will think they are very big, they knows everything, they are the biggest persons in this world, like this grandeur. Overthinking about themselves will be there. So that is called delusion of grandeur. And delusion of persecution, they will think somebody is hurting him, somebody is planning to spoil him, they will planning to kill him. So like that, they will think, if they, even if there is no actual evidence, or even if they are not talking about him, still he will think they are taking his property, like that. They are going to hurt him, they are hurting him. So like that they will think. So next is distractibility. Easily they will get distracted. Already I explained. Other features are increased sociability. increase sociability. They will talk with everybody with easily. Even the unknown person also they will go and talk. So that is increased sociability. Then impulsive behavior, they are not able to control their behavior. If they want to hurt, this person is planning to hurt someone. So that shows you want to hurt, they will hurt. They will hurt animals. They will not think if they are touching the animal will bite. Like that, they will not think. And the current is the child is going to touch the current. They will not think the shock will come. So this is just examples like that. The manic patients will not think about consequences. Without thinking about consequences, they will do something abnormally. So that is called impulsive behavior. It means they are not able to control their behavior. Whatever coming in their mind, they will do. That is impulsive behavior. Then disinhibition, that is the same like that. They are not able to control. Inhibit means stop. Disinhibition means they are not able to inhibit like this. Abnormally they will do. This also one thing. Uh, Next is hypersexual behaviors. Sexual activities will be more. They will not see where they are there, whether it is possible to do sexual activities in this public. So like that, they will not think. Wherever they want, they will do. So poor judgment. Poor judgment. They will not have any good judgment. If this is example I shown. If the house is fire, they may enjoy. Otherwise, they will give some more fire in that house. So like that, their judgment will be impaired more probably. This is example I have shown here. Next is high risk activities. That is uh, 1 minute. High risk activities. This is high risk activities for especially while driving. They will go fast. They will make accidents. So like that they will do. So there is foolish business investment. If they are doing any business, foolish business investment, because if they have money, they will put in any business. They will not think whether the business will give benefit or not. So distributing money or articles to any unknown persons. So like that, they will not control their mind. They will not think the consequences also. So already before that we have seen. Next is dressed up in gaudy and flamboyant clothes. It means very attractive clothes like this. They will dress up. Okay, this is since in public in our in home they will actually we will not dress like this, but this like the attractive colors and differently they will do dressing. That is not appropriate to the society where they are living. And next is decreased food intake due to overactivity. Decreased food intake due to overactivity. Then decreased attention and concentration will be decreased. Then absent insight, there will not be any absent. They are actually patient, but if you are asking, no, say I am normal, I have no problem, like that they will tell. So it means that is there is no insight. What they are doing, they are not able to justify. Uh, Next is this is about speech and thought changes for the manic patients. And next we can see the clinical features through symptoms of hypomania. In hypomania, already I explained, it is not like mania. Their symptoms are very lesser than the manic patients. It's not that much severe than the manic patients. So that's what written here. Hypomania is a lesser degree of mania. There is a persistent mild elevation of mood. Mild elevation of mood. In the mania, severe elevation of mood, manic episode. But in hypomania, a mild elevation of mood, persistent mild elevation of mood means for long time the mild elevation will be there, and increased sense of psychological well-being and happiness not in keeping with ongoing events. So whatever they are doing, happiness or sad, that is not related to ongoing events. No, it means ongoing event means when we are celebrating birthday we are happy. Then after the birthday party, then we will become normal. The happiness will be less. But these people, the happiness will be there after the party also. So there is or without any parties also they will be happy. Without any happiest situation also they will be showing the happy moments. That is not related to appropriate. That is not appropriate to any situation. So that's why that will be there. But in lesser, this problem is when compared to mania, it is less severe than the mania. So that's why we are telling this is hypomania. So next is diagnosis we can see. So how we can diagnose this problem? One is manic rating scale. So there is some scale numbers will be there. Based on the signs and symptoms, we can put the number. If the number is increasing, we can say mania. If the less is there, we can say it is not mania. So I based on next one is based on ICD-10 criteria. In ICD-10 classification, they have written what the signs and symptoms shows the mania. So based on that, we can compare and find the manic problems. And based on signs and symptoms, already we have seen so many signs and symptoms. If it is there, we can consider that that is a manic disorder. And next is treatment modalities. In treatment, there is three types of treatments we can give to manic patients. First one is pharmacotherapy, because overactivity is there. That time immediately we have to reduce their activity. Otherwise he may hit himself. Otherwise he may kill others. There is more chance to hit others also. So that's why pharmaco immediately we have to make him to calm down. So for manic we can give lithium. This is the major first line drug for manic patients. The other drugs also there, carbamazepine, sodium valproate and lamotrigine and other drugs, clonazepam, calcium channel block. These drugs we can take based on psychiatric doctor's advice. Okay, without doctor's advice, we should not take these drugs. So that is pharmacotherapy. And psychological treatments we can use. Psychological treatments we can family therapy, marital therapy, individual psychotherapy. So which is this is many patients are not able to control. So that's why group therapy is not appropriate. Some other family therapy and all we can give, because due to family issue, if he might have got this problem to our, so family therapy if you are giving, there will be understanding between the family members, so the manic symptoms may reduce. So that is treatments. And next is electroconvulsive therapy. If there is no positive changes to the patient through the pharmacotherapy and psychosocial treatments, we can go for ECT. This is the last consideration. It can also be used for acute mania. Acute mania excitement means immediately to cause the patient got acute activity immediately. It means he started to hit others. He is not able to control. Nobody is not able to control in that time. Immediately to control his activity, we can give ECT as per doctor's order. If not adequately responding to antipsychotics and lithium. So already I explained, these drugs are not adequately responding to the patient's signs and symptoms. That time also the doctor can prescribe ECT. So this and all based on doctor's advice only uh, can get the treatments. Next is nursing management. Next we are coming to the nursing management part. In nursing management, in in three steps we can understand the nursing management. First one is nursing assessment. Nurse has to assess what is the condition, what are the signs and symptoms there, what is his history, why it is happened like this. All the things the nurse assess through by talking with the patient and their family members. All these things are here. Nursing assessment of manic patients should include assessing the severity of the disorder, forming an opinion about the cues, assessing the patient's resources, and judging the effects of patient's behavior on other people. So these are the signs and symptoms the nurse can assess through assess by talking with the patient. As far as possible, all relevant data should be collected from the patient. That I already explained. And during assessment, the nurse should include mood and affect, thinking, the perceptual ability. This and all nurse has to find. Note pattern of verbal speech. So this and all already explained the signs and symptoms of patient. The nurse can assess by talking with the patient and by getting information from the previous records, and by talking with their parents or relatives who is available with the patient. So like they can assess and get the information. So next is nursing diagnosis. This is not diagnosis, this is nursing diagnosis. Here I have given few nursing diagnoses, around 10 I have given here. One is high risk injury, because they are overactive, so therefore high risk injury will be there. And second is high risk for violence, so they will get violence, so that also leads to injury. So high risk for injury and high risk for violence. And imbalanced nutrition, because already in signs and symptoms we have seen there is because of overactivity they will not follow their food habit, normal food habit. So there is a nutritional problem. That's why nutritional problems may arise. So imbalanced nutrition. Next is impaired social interaction, because they are not properly communicating with others because of their inhibited activities and impulsive behaviors and aggressive behaviors. So there is impaired social interaction will be there. And self-esteem disturbance. Self-esteem means self and respect. If you want to get respect, we will give respect to others. Then only we will get. So, but they will not do like that. So self-esteem disturbances will be there. And interrupted family process, yeah, for they will not cope with family activities. So there's inter-family process, interrupted family process will be there. And risk for injury, high risk for injury stated, so like that risk for injury. Another one, then impaired social interaction, that also we have seen here, impaired social interaction. This is the reason is different here reason is impaired social related to egocentric or narcissistic behavior. Narcissistic behavior means hurting others, that type of behavior. Here impaired social interaction related to short attention span, because of they are not able to attend towards others, that's why impaired social interaction will be there. So here we have to give treatment for maintain their attention. In here impaired social interaction, here we have to reduce their narcissistic behavior. Okay, that is the difference between these two things. Then ineffective coping skills related to poor impulse control. So impulse control, that's why coping skill will not be there. Impulsive behavior, already we explained. I explained impulsive behavior means they are not able to control their thoughts. That's why they will do. If they wanted to hurt, immediately they will hurt. If they wanted to run, immediately they will run. If they wanted to jump from anywhere, they immediately. So like that, their thought process they are not able to control. They will do that. So that's why they are not cope with the society or peoples or family members. So that's why ineffective coping skills. So disturbed thought process related to disorientation. Their thought process related to disoriented. Disoriented means they are not where they are not, where they are present, what they are doing. They are not able to understand. So that's why their thought process is not able to control. Um so these are the things. So deeply, this is just generally I explained. And for high risk for injury to extreme activities, over activity there, for how to control this detail we can see. You see, keep environmental stimulus to a minimum, because they are doing over activity because of the environmental stimulus. So that's why we have to environment, we have to stimulus will be reduced. How we can reduce the environment stimulus? Because if they are not like any other persons, we can not allow other persons to meet him. And if you wanted to any activities, uh, while in when they want, when they actually they need rest, then the activities related things we can keep away from the patient, then it will not stimulate him, he will keep quiet. Then remove hazardous objects and substance, because this hazardous object and substance, he may use this to hurt him or others. So that's why the hazardous objects and substance we can keep away from him. Assist patient to engage in activities such as writing, drawing and other physical exercise. Then it will divert their mind from getting aggressive. That's why assist help him to engage in any other good positive activities. Then assist patient to engage in activities such as writing, drawing, so already explained. Then stay with patient as hyperactivity increases. So when the hyperactivity increases, stay with patient. And stay with patient. If it is nurse, the nurse can get help from other nurse also, if a single nurse not able to control. So this is very important, because when the activity increases, immediately stay with patient and make him calm down, and involve him in any other positive activities. Make him to involve in any other positive activities. Administer medication as prescribed by physician. This we know, medications we have to prescribe, because he is showing overactivity. So immediately we have to reduce his activity. That's why prescribe medication as per doctor's order. So next is high risk for violence. So violence we can control. That also same. Environmental stimulus we have to control. Observe patient, stay with patient, engage him to other activities. Same thing. Already we have seen to reduce the high risk for injury. The same thing. There is no different. Okay. And imbalance nutrition. Nutrition imbalance. We have to provide high. We have to make him to eat first. We have to provide high protein, high caloric, nutritional fiber foods, and find out patient's likes, dislikes, that we have to find what he likes, that if it is possible to give him, we can give enough amount. So provide 6 to 8 glasses of fluids per day, because water level may reduce because of his overactivity. That's why his fluid level we have to maintain by giving 6 to 8 glasses of fluids per day. That is and also that is depend on his activities. Maintain accurate record of intake, so intake and output chart we have to maintain. Then only we can maintain the food intake. Then if it is more output, then if you are giving less, providing less intake, then there will be nutritionally balance will be there. So that's why that record output, intake output chart we have to maintain to the patient. Then supplement diet with vitamins and minerals, because this is nutritional problem. That's why supplement diet with vitamins and minerals. Walk or sit with patient while he eats. Walk or sit with patient while he eats. That help to observe his eating pattern, and how much amount he is eating, whether he is eating or throwing out. Everything we can observe. Based on that, we can maintain his food intake. So these are the to balance the nutrition. Impaired social interaction due to his narcissistic behavior. Narcissistic behavior is overactivity. Already we seen in high risk for injury, high risk for violence. The same thing we have to maintain is here also. Okay, the same points. Next is interrupted family process. So family process interrupted family between problem there in the family. So we have to determine individual situation and feelings in individual family members. So what is his in the family? What is his role? How he is treated by family, or how he is treating the family? That now the nurse has to assess, and thereby they can uh, assess the patient patterns of communication, for example, or feeling expressed freely, who makes decisions, what is the interaction between family members. These and all questions they can nurse can ask to the patient and get the information. Determine patterns of behavior by patient in his relationship with others, and that also we have to assess. Assess the role of patient in a family like provider. Provide information about behavior pattern and expected course of illness. This and all we can get information from the family members. We can teach the family members how to behave with patient also. That also one type of intervention only. We have to give education to the family members as well as patient. Uh, because the family members, if they are minding about patient, the patient's problem will not come down. So that's why this family intervention is very important. And risk for injury related to potentially harmful situation, evidenced by impulsive behavior. So his impulsive behavior we have to control. Harmful situation, that already we explained in high risk for injury. And impaired social interaction, that also I already explained. Here attention span, attention problem will be there. So we have to improve or maintain his normal attention. Then ineffective coping skills related to poor impulse. So here also we have to control impulse behavior. And disturbed thought process related to disorientation and decreased concentration. So this here orientation, thought process disturbed because of disorientation. It means we have to orient the patient. Use firm yet calm, relaxed approach. Okay, we have to talk with relaxed approach. Set and maintain limits on behavior that is destructive or adversely affect others. So his behavior limit behavior. How we have to limit behavior? We have to be stay with patient, and we have to tell this will hurt others, this will hurt you, like that. We have to give commands to the patient and make him to first for that to follow our commands. We have to make a good relationship with the patient. Then only it is possible. And decrease environmental stimulus, and everywhere where is the day, because these patients are always overactive, there is more chance for high risk for injuries, violation, violent. So to avoid that, decrease environmental stimulus, those stimulus are making him to become aggressive. So that's why environmental stimulus should be under control. Provide a consistent structured environment. मतलब consistent structured environment. Structured environment means planned environment where he has to be, the patient where he has to be. And that situation only we have to make him to stay. So that is planned environment is important to make the patient to stay there. Then only there will not be any abnormal stimulus that will make aggressive to the patient. So these are the things nursing activities we can do. So next is evaluation. We had to evaluate. So all these activities we have to evaluate the patient. If it is there is no changes and we have to make another assessment, another nursing diagnosis, another interventions, then again evaluation. So evaluation helps us to understand the changes happened to the patient. So this is what nursing evaluation. So the nursing management is over. So this is about mania. So we have seen 8 things in manic patients. One is what is mania, we have seen in introduction. uh, s- uh, then classification of mania according to ICD-10, then causes or etiology we have seen, the psychopathology we have seen, clinical features, the signs and symptoms of mania we have seen, then diagnosis, how we can diagnose the patient, whether he is mania or any other disease, that we have seen, and treatment modalities. There are 3 types of treatments: pharmacology and behavioral therapies, and the ECT. That about that we have seen. The nursing management, nursing management we have seen, nursing assessment, nursing diagnosis, and interventions. So this is over. Thanks for all.